Once I have all my clips in the timeline and I'm ready to export. Once I have imported my clips, sourced them, put them on my timeline, adjusted my audio, and added any other components to my video edit, I need to get ready to export. There's two things I want to do before I export. First, on my timeline, I'm going to grab my playhead and drag it to the beginning of my video. Or I can press the Go to in my program monitor. Once I've done this, I want to press the I button to mark in. You can see that on my timeline, I've marked in, creating that gray highlight across my timeline and across my program monitor, because these are the same component here. I'm going to drag my playhead to the end of my video, and when I get close, I'm going to let go of the playhead and press the space bar to let the video play till the end. Now I'm going to press O at the end of my edit. Now that I've pressed I and O to mark in and out, you can see that my timeline represents the in point to out point of my video. There's no gray highlight after the out point. We want to make sure we mark in and out to export so that we don't have extra video at the end and we get our full video ready for export. I'm going to press Command S because I want to make sure I save every few minutes. Now I'm going to move up to my Mac menus up at the top of my screen for Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm making sure that it says Premiere Pro at the top of my screen. I'm going to find the sequence menu, click it, and press Render In to Out. When I press this, a dialog box will pop up. What I'm doing right now is rendering the video. So as you can see, this yellow line at the top of my timeline demonstrating files that need to be rendered is slowly changing to green as the program renders all of my files. When you do this, it will make the export quicker. We don't necessarily have to do this for our short videos, but as we start editing more and getting longer, more complex videos, we always want to make sure to render. The video will start to play after it renders, so I can just press stop or the space bar. Now, I can see that my line at the top of my timeline is green, showing me it's fully rendered. I've marked in to out on the timeline. I'm going to press Command S one more time because I want to save as much as possible. Now I'm going to actually export the video. I'm going to go to the Mac menu bar again, and this time in Premiere Pro, choose File, and I'm going to move down to the bottom where it says Export, and I will choose Media. A dialog box will pop up. First, I want to make sure that I rename this file. Right now, if I leave it as the MVI file, two things will happen. It will overwrite the original file I'm using, and it's going to be hard for me to find this export. So I'm going to click and drag to highlight in front of the .mp4 and type the name of my video. Underneath this, I need to make sure my location is set to the desktop folder for my project. So if my project was in the Canable folder, I'm going to click that Canable folder and make sure that I'm exporting to that same location and press Save. I can double check this is going to export my video correct because I can look down here in the export settings to make sure it says range source in to out. That's telling me it will export my timeline from the in and out mark I created. So I've named the file, keeping the .mp4 after it. I've changed the location. Make sure it shows me that I'm using the range I set for my export. And now I'm going to move to the bottom right of the window and press Export. Another dialog box will pop up and show me that the video is exporting. When the video is done, I should see a blue box pop up in the bottom right of Adobe telling me my export was completed successfully. If I go into my Finder by clicking the Finder button, I can check if my video actually was exported. So I'm going to scroll on the left-hand side of my Finder to my desktop, find my folder that I chose as the location, and now I can see shottypes.mp4 was exported. This is the file I will submit to Schoology. I cannot submit any files that say anything other than the .mp4, so make sure you're submitting the right file type. I would go to Schoology now and upload the file. And if the file is too large, I'll put it in my Google Drive, set the restrictions so that Ms. Canable can see it, copy the link, and submit that in Schoology. Take time now to export your video and submit it to Schoology.